right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is Friday, July 19th, and the Yankees were back in the Bronx to open up the second half against the Tampa Bay Rays. Gerrit Cole was on the mound, looking for his third win of the season. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium,
New York City.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back, kid.
All right. 69 people watching right out of the gate. Very nice. Great start to the second half for the Yankees. Dominating win over the Rays. Man, it's been a while since I've done a live show. I don't know where to put my hands. I don't know what's going on here. First of all, before we get started, it's great to see all the familiar names in the chat again. It's been a few days. I missed you guys. We just crossed over 15 million views on NYY Recaps, so thanks for that. Interesting matchup tonight because if the Rays don't play better and fast, they might end up trading a bunch of their guys off their roster. Isaac Paredes, Randy Arozarena, Zach Eflin, Pete Fairbanks, all guys who the Rays could consider moving if they decide to sell at the trade deadline. And I got a feeling that the Yankees are going to be interested in some of these guys. We've already heard about Paredes. The guy that I want is Brandon Lowe, the second baseman. He went deep tonight. He is really, really good. He's got a swing that is built for Yankee Stadium. If they make him available, sign me the hell up. Very good start to the second half from Anthony Volpe. Big bases clearing double. That is a swing the Yankees have not been getting over the last several weeks. Austin Wells had some very good at-bats tonight. He drew 3 walks. He spit on some very, very close pitches. He's just looking so much more confident at the plate lately. We had a bunt single and a quote-unquote Little League home run from Juan Soto. I kind of hate that term, Little League home run, because it's not a home run. And in Little League, they hit the ball over the fence. Do you guys not watch the Little League World Series? I get it. He got a double. He scored on 2 errors, but, I just don't like the phrase. We're not going to get rid of it, though. People love it. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Yankees continue to get pretty much piss-poor at-bats from DJ LeMahieu, who started to hear the boos tonight. But overall, you cannot complain about a stress-free victory to open up the second half of the season. Great performance from Gerrit Cole tonight. 6 very impressive and very sharp innings. He had some deep counts early in the game, so the pitch count was a little bit elevated. He ended up throwing over 100 pitches. Velocity was 97, 98 from the very start. I was worried he might come out and be a little bit wild because a lot of times power pitchers early in the game when they haven't pitched, in their regular rotation are a little bit wild. We've seen that from Gerrit Cole. He's very routine oriented, but, to his credit, he was able to keep it under command. He had 2 strikeouts in the second inning, both on nasty breaking pitches down and away. And once he kind of got that weapon in his arsenal tonight and dialed it in, he seemed to kind of settle in at that point and pitched really, really, really well. He went 6 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. StatCast has his top velocity from tonight at 98.1 miles per hour, 103 pitches, 70 of them strikes. So just under a 70% strikeout percentage, or strike percentage, 16 swings and misses. Pretty good. On the season now, 3-1. The ERA is down to 4.60. So getting back closer to respectability and closer to his Cy Young form. If that's the guy we're going to see in the second half, that is a very, very good sign for the Yankees. Before we get to the recap, a few things we got to go through. We got some injury updates before the game. Giancarlo Stanton is doing baseball activities as part of his rehab. I don't know what that really means for Giancarlo because he literally has played 0 games in the field this year. So I don't know if he has the same baseball activities as everybody else. But, let's just work on running the bases without the hamstring snapping. His hamstrings are like those little gray straps on the back of those masks you get from CVS for Halloween when you're a little kid and it snaps by about the 3rd house. That's what his hamstrings are made of. Same material. Get that guy in shape, calisthenically, so he can run the bases without snapping something. Scott Efros got optioned to AAA. He's healthy. He's done with his rehab. They had the opportunity to call him up, but they chose not to. Joel Sherman on his podcast, The Show, mentioned that he's not hearing the kind of optimistic language that the Yankees would be using about Scott Effross if he was fully recovered from his injury. Doesn't sound like he is. So maybe those surgeries took something out of him. Not everybody comes back from surgery. The baseball landscape is littered with the corpses of pitchers who, had one or two good years and then their arms fell off. I'm among them, but not in major league level, but still. We had a few regulars on this channel that have been saying we don't need to get a third baseman because John Birdie's coming back. Ongoing saga with John Birdie has been the injuries. He's had 2 IL stints this year, and he just had a setback in his rehab. So I don't think we can count on him to come in and save the day at third base. Hoping that he gets healthy is not a good strategy. We've just got 11 days to the trade deadline to get something done. So I say they go out and get somebody. Also, we got the 2025 schedule released today. So let's take a look at that real quick. I think it's worth noting a few things. One, they play in Detroit in April, so that's going to be cold as hell. And then you got the Athletics at their new home in Sacramento, which is really a minor league ballpark, in early May. You play the Mets away at Citi Field in July, and you play them at home in May 16th, 17th, and 18th. They go to Colorado next year. That'll be fun. Should be fun anyway. And then they finish the season in Baltimore. So if Baltimore is good like, they are this year, and I have no reason to guess that they wouldn't be, and the Yankees are contenders, that could be a very, very cool last couple of weeks. You see 3 games in Baltimore, 19th, 20th, 21st, and then 3 games at the end of the season in Baltimore. So that could be a really, really interesting end to next season. All right, looks like the chat is filling up. Let's talk a little bit. We got belt goes to Clay Holmes for staying where he belongs off the mound. I like it. Let's go ahead and get to the recap. You guys are all waiting for it. It's been a while.
Let's get it going.
CM also says Pittsburgh in April is no picnic. Yeah, that wind coming off the water can't feel good, right? Yeah, that's going to be a cold one. Yankees are going to have some cold April games next year, although I guess that's true pretty much every year. Some years, I like it when you open up in a dome or in multiple domes like they did this year when they started in Houston and they went to Arizona. That makes some of those early season snowouts less likely. Both teams were quiet early tonight. Bottom 2, another wasted opportunity. Austin Wells drew a fantastic walk to lead off the inning, laid off some very tough pitches. He was doing that all night. Volpe singled to put 2 runners on with nobody out, but Grisham struck out looking, and then DJ LeMahieu banged into a rally-killing double play.
Son of a bitch!
And he continues to have tough at-bats. Better job capitalizing on opportunities in the 3rd inning. Beautiful bunt single from Juan Soto. 3 walks to Yankees hitters from Zach Eflin. So that's weird. He never walks guys. So that was wild. Pun intended. And then, another one of those walks was Austin Wells, who continues to have just more confident at-bats every single day. And then, in accordance with the prophecy, Anthony Volpe ripped a 3-run double down the left field line. Now, if you watch the morning show, you may remember that the Derek prediction was that he would get at least 2 hits, and that was his 2nd hit of the game. And you know what that means? It's a hit.
That is destiny fulfilled.
Psychic readings available. $900 a pop. Hit me up. That was a huge hit because for the past few weeks, the Yankees have not been getting that big game-breaking hit late in the game, early in the game. Like whenever they have opportunities, they're just not capitalizing. That was it. That was a big moment in the game. You felt like if he, makes an out there and the inning ends with just getting 1 run, you feel like that actually adds momentum, adds, a little bit of excitement for the Rays because they feel like they stopped the bleeding, and that could swing the momentum of the game. So big hit. With Garrett Cole on the mound and throwing the way he was today, you could tell from the Rays' body language at that point after that double from Volpe that they were defeated. They weren't coming back against Gerrit Cole. So that was a big, big swing of the bat. Bottom 4, Soto smoked one off the left field wall. He was trying to make it a triple, but the throw went into the dugout, which allowed him to score. That's the quote-unquote Little League home run. 2 errors on the play. That made it 5-0. Rays threatened in the top of the 5th, but Gerrit Cole pitched out of it. Top 6, Brandon Lowe hit one into the short porch for a solo home run. Cutter that didn't cut, and those go a long way. I mentioned it earlier, but in case you didn't join or joined a little bit late, Cole was done after 6 innings, just 6 hits allowed, 1 run allowed, 8 strikeouts. Very, very nice performance from Gerrit Cole. Yankees tacked on another run in the 6th inning. Juan Soto smoked a double off the left field wall. He did the old Josh Donaldson routine where he acted like it was gone. He stunted for a little second and stood at it and admired his work, but it stayed in the ballpark. Now, for Josh Donaldson, they usually fell about 15 feet short and they were caught. At least this one hit the wall. He was able to get a double out of it, but he had to really turn on the gas to get there. He's lucky he didn't get thrown out. That would have been an ugly play. We've seen that happen before. You can't be standing there watching it unless it's a no-doubter. Sorry. He came in to score on a base hit by the captain. That made it 6-1. And that was the end of the scoring. Tommy Kahnle worked an effective 7th inning. Best we've seen him in a while. Good inning for Jake Cousins in the top of the 8th. Caleb Ferguson pitched the 9th. I was thinking maybe they should have gone to Clay Holmes in the 9th inning. His last outing was a brutal one. I'm sure it's been on his mind. And as a guy who throws sinkers, right, the sinker is a feel pitch. And, if you sit for too long, you can get wild. And that's why a lot of times he is wild. I thought with a nice 5-run lead, it might be good to at least get him in there and get at least 1 or 2 outs so he can kind of get the feel back for that pitch. That way, when you need him in a tight spot later this weekend, he's not wild and he's ready to go. But I am not the manager. Aaron Boone is the manager. We can ask him about that. Yankees hang on to win their first game after the break.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Reminder, if you're new, go ahead and like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're here after every game. And this is everybody's favorite part, usually. It's my favorite part. After the Yankees win, we give out the player of the game. It is the belt, and it goes to the guy who we think, made the biggest impact on tonight's game. Tonight it was a genuinely difficult choice. You had the great outing from Gerrit Cole with 6 innings of 1-run baseball and 8 strikeouts. You had the big, big bases clearing double from Anthony Volpe. And then you had Juan Soto getting 4 hits, 2 of them doubles, a walk. You had a couple of hits from Judge. You had 3 walks and a sac bunt from Wells, so it was a really, really good team performance. But ultimately, only one man can take home the belt, and tonight it is Mr. Juan Soto. Also, in accordance with the prophecy, people still pissed off after a win. Fred Fredberger says Verdogdu is stinking it up. First of all, kudos for the name. But yeah, he's having a very difficult last couple of months, really. I mean, his average is down to 233, and his OPS is down to 663. Had that big missed catch. Should have been an easy play, 99% catch probability in the final game against Baltimore. You're hoping that he comes out of the gate strong, gets a big hit. He did have an RBI tonight, but it was not really a great at bat. It was a weak 18 hopper to second base. So, yeah, he's not playing great. DJ LeMahieu getting very concerning. 0 for 4 tonight, hitting 182. At some point you're going to have to go out and get a third baseman. At some point you really do. Let's go ahead and take a few comments here.
What do you say?
All right. Book says, maybe put Wells at cleanup and stop it already with Verdugo. Dude hasn't hit one out of the infield in over a month. You're not wrong. I'm looking forward to Giancarlo Stanton coming back in a couple of days. Yankees have a 4-game series with the Rays. I don't think it's out of line to think he could be back for the 3rd or 4th game. The problem with Giancarlo, though, when he comes back. And people who watch this channel regularly and people who are familiar with the Yankees and watch them closely over the last few years and have seen all the injuries that Giancarlo has had, know that when he comes back from an injury list trip, a lot of times he slumps for like 3 weeks. It just takes him a long time. He's not a good hitter. He's a very powerful hitter, right? He's a streaky hitter. And so it can take him a while to really, get his rhythm right and get his bat to ball skills right. We got a couple of super chats here from CM. First one is LeMahieu and Torres are still terrible. Why do they keep playing these guys? What are the alternatives right now? I mean, Oswaldo isn't exactly tearing the cover off the ball. Jahmai Jones isn't, you're not going to sit Torres for Jahmai Jones at this point. And then CM says, you should use the good for you diatribe from Christian Bale's rant against the lighting guy in your sound effects. I love that. That used to be that's so funny that you say that. That used to be my voicemail. It would be like, you've reached Derek's voicemail. Oh, good for you. I'm going to have to get it now. I appreciate it. Thanks for the dono. James G says, Stanton will only help this team when he comes back. Well, one thing that's going to be true when he comes back is that he is going to be dangerous because, you hang one to him, he can hurt you. He can change a game quickly. But I really think that if he doesn't do a rehab assignment, and he usually doesn't, it's going to take him at least a week. He's going to have a week of swinging at sliders 1.5 feet outside, and it's not going to be pretty. And we're all going to be like, damn it, Giancarlo. That's just my prediction, but I could be wrong. I don't know if that qualifies as a Nostra Derek prediction. Tony Wilson says, Derek, how would you handle Heel and the Yankees need to make sure to start Nestor at home in the playoffs? I think that's one of those things that with Nestor, you cross that bridge when you get there, Yeah, I don't want Nestor starting on the road in the playoffs. We'll see how he does at home tomorrow, but it's weird that he has such weird splits, I guess lefties pitch better in Yankee Stadium. He can get those fly balls to left field, and they go 385 feet or 395 feet. And at Yankee Stadium, that's an out. So as far as Luis Heel goes, right now they're taking it start to start. They're seeing how the metrics look, how the arm angle looks, the release point, the spin rate, the velocity, all that stuff. They're keeping track of every release. And, they say that there's no hard and fast innings limit. And that may be true, but I still think at some point they're going to need to back off of him if they want him to be strong for the playoffs. One scenario that you could consider is a phantom injured list trip. Now, you're not supposed to do that, but it happens from time to time, and I could see that if the Yankees get Clark Schmidt back, or maybe they go out and they get another starter, and you want to give Luis Heel a couple of weeks off, I could see him doing a phantom IL, Everybody would believe it if you say, oh, he's got a tight hamstring, All you got to do is have somebody sign off on it. So, anyways, the save situation says, could use a nice pick for the stock market. Don't come to me for that. I'm only useful when it comes to baseball predictions. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up with your final comments of the night. In case you're wondering, I am still bald. I decided to keep it for a while. It's starting to grow back. I got like a 5 o'clock shadow across the whole head right now, but it feels good. I'm going to stick with it. I'm having trouble figuring out how I can maintain like the 5 o'clock shadow on the head, and not have to, shave the whole head constantly, because the wife doesn't love it when it's completely bald, but she likes it when it's just kind of, peach fuzz up here. Also, new college football game. Awesome. Love seeing all the different stadiums. We found out yesterday that my favorite stadium, the Trop, is not going to be around much longer. The Rays' plan for a new ballpark got approved by the local council by one vote. There's one more vote. I believe they said it's July 30th. But after that, it should be basically, a go. And they're building basically an entire city around the stadium, kind of like what the Braves did, where, you build shops and you build restaurants and you build apartments and you try and just build out the area. It's like 65 acres around the stadium. That's going to be cool. I mean, I'm also looking forward to seeing what the Vegas stadium looks like for the A's. First of all, I love Vegas. I love going to Vegas. It's like my favorite vacation spot. Something about all the lights and the buzzers and the sounds and the bings and the bangs and the people in costumes and all that, like, it works well for my ADD because I'm constantly looking everywhere and I'm very just distractible, and it's just fun for me. It's stimulating. But I definitely want to go see a Yankee game in Vegas. If that happens, for sure, we're going to rent out a suite. If they ultimately make that stadium, we will rent out a suite, and we'll maybe give away some tickets. It's a long way in the future, maybe a couple of years, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Anyway, couple more things. So Yankees play at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Usually we don't do a voicemail show if there's a day game, but I feel kind of like doing one tomorrow, so feel free to call in 718-899-1068, and we'll get your trade deadline thoughts. I want to get those. We'll talk about your predictions for the second half, what you guys saw from tonight's game, all that good stuff. Also, recap after tomorrow's game, usually around 3 o'clock on a 1 o'clock game. And then at 7 p.m. tomorrow, the premiere episode of the StatCast Report with newest member of NYY Recaps, Aiden Deschamps. Welcome to the team. Officially the 4th member now of NYY Recaps. Full menu tomorrow, so tune in for all that. And good pitching matchup. Nestor Cortez versus Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley has a 2.90 ERA, and we know Nestor pitches well at home, so that could be a low-scoring game. Reminder that we are on a mission for 50,000 subscribers, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are new, hit that like button, all that stuff. It helps people find the channel. Take a few more comments here. Joe Long says, Stanton is good 1 month out of 8. Let's hope that month is October. Now, he got off to a pretty good start this year. I don't want to bust his chops too much. He got off to a really good start. THG Wicked 50 Cal says, can't wait for the new show. I watched what Aiden sent me today. It's really good. We're talking about Ben Rice and his StatCast data, what it says about him. Rice did not have a great night tonight. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts down to 217. But he's shown a ton of power. He's shown a ton of patience. I think he's struggling a little bit with the Major League breaking ball. That is not unusual. I think he'll make the adjustment because he seems like a good hitter. Anyway, I need one of those goodbye catchphrases like Bob Barker has. Spay or neuter your pets. How about always salt your water before you boil pasta? Ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you tomorrow for the voicemail show. Call in. I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching the podcast. I'm sure I mentioned this during the show, but just in case I didn't, be sure to like and subscribe. It's very important. It helps other fans find the channel, helps grow the Yankees fan community on YouTube. So go ahead and hit those buttons real quick for me if you get a chance, and we'll see you next time.